Because with the reds open as they are, any miss at this end of the table could cost him.
It's amazing though that sometimes a bad safety gets you an opening, forces your opponent to take on a red that they're not entirely comfortable with, and then you get the first chance. He's not taking it.
Well, I think he may have been a little bit fortunate here. I'm not certain whether Stephen can... Well, he's looking at this red. See if it'll just go past. Certainly not all the pocket available. And if he knocks it in, he's automatically going to be on the black. 3/4 of a pocket he's got to go at. Needs to get it. Good shot. Good shot. And on the black. One. Fully committed. As I say, there wasn't all the pocket, but he slotted in lovely. And this is a terrific chance. Just put the score line out of your mind and just concentrate on one ball at a time. And who's to say where that could take him? I agree with you, Stephen, at the start of this frame. Losing the last one, Mark Selby would be slightly irritated, but if he was to lose this one, he may be getting a little bit concerned.
Well, the thing is, every mistake he makes now, his mind goes back to that red he missed for the rest.
9.
And the match should have been over. It's very tough to put these things out of your mind when your opponent starts creeping back at you, as Stephen Lee is.
$16. Thanks. 17.
And there's Mark Selby. Only look on. This was the red that Stephen was referring to. If he rolls that in, he needed a black and 25. One more red for a place in the quarter-final. And he's made a few mistakes in this frame as well, so doubts will start to come into his head, and that trophy may not look as far away from Stephen Lee as it did a few frames ago. He's got to hold himself together, of course, but every chance in this frame now. Not certain that's the ready play to Cannon, but
32.
I think he's okay. Played to hit the one on the right hand side, which he just run by.
$33.
Went up for the blue. That's okay. Left himself a nice angle on the blue where he can hold the cue ball and be nicely on the next red. 26 points to lead.
$38.
When Stephen Lee missed that
39.
very easy red a couple of frames ago, obviously he looked a bit demoralised. Now he looks focused.
Yeah, there's a few things you need when you're playing catch-up. You need to start raising your game.
46.
You need probably a little bit of luck. But I'll tell you what does help. getting help from your opponent, and he certainly had that in the last couple of frames. Decided to play for the red along the top cushion.
54.
A few people spurn these, but if he knocks it in, which he has
55.
done, just a little bit too much pace. I'm just wondering what sort of an angle he's got on this black. Yeah, he just wanted to be a little bit lower, just an inch, that's all.
Yeah, it looks like screw back for the red that's in the open of the two pairs of reds into the same pocket. Well, the top one of these two must go into the right centre.
62.
Yep.
$63.
And just the pink needed to go 62 points in front with 59 remaining. I'm daring to suggest this match is back on.
$69. $70. $76.
Well, that red's in, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Well, Mark can have a little bit of a laugh. I mean, he's going on, what a fluke that was, but of course the frame was well and truly over. But that's what he's always been capable of, Mark Selby, having a sense of humour, and he'll need a sense of humour though if Stephen Lee wins the next frame.
Thank you. 81.
Stephen Lee has already made a 100 break in frame 5. Which was the 9th of the tournament. This could be the 10th. Could have done without the kiss on the pink.
88.
It's all happening now though, isn't it?
89.
He's starting to get that silky smooth cue action going. And probably for the first time in the match, he can see a light at the end of the tunnel.
94.
Oh, a pity. A pity.
94.
But he won't be too unhappy with that. I don't know what Mark Selby's thinking, but Stephen Lee will be thinking he's back in this, just 2 behind now at 5-3.
Well, the fight back still continues from Stephen Lee, but we promised you at the start of the show that we'll show you what happened between Mark Allen and Neil Robertson from last night. Well, these two actually met in the last stage of the tournament 12 months ago when Mark Allen won 6-4, and for the early part of the match, Allen looked in control, leading by 3 frames to 1, but he was to later admit to losing interest, and Neil Robertson won 5 frames in a row to win 6-3 and book his spot in the quarterfinals, where he'll play Mark next. So good performance last night from Neil Robertson. But guys, I don't know if you've read that Mark Allen, he criticised Neil Robertson's style of play. He said he didn't enjoy the fact that he was up against a player whose style he didn't like. It made it difficult to watch. Not the sort of mental approach that you'd want to see from someone in the opening round of the Masters.
No, I'm actually a little bit surprised about it as well, saying that, because I commentated on that match last night and I didn't think he was particularly slow, Neil Robertson. I just thought, you know, when he got in amongst the balls, he was fantastic. He didn't miss too much. Funny enough, his long game wasn't so good last night. It's down to about 44% at one point. But I don't think there was anything particularly where he was playing slow or slowing the match down. It just there was a couple of frames went a bit scrappy like that, and he had to, you know, you've got to earn your corner. You just can't have the balls open all the time.
Mark Allen in and out of the right place at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, I think probably he's very high up the rankings, Mark Allen, in who the press lads want to see come in straight after a match, because he does give good column inches at the moment, and yeah, we do come straight off the table going to the press room, and some players I think perhaps are more considered than others. Ask Mark today whether he would say the same thing. He may say, no, it's just a heat at the moment. He may do, consider that's the way, but you've got to beat all types of players as well in this game. There's no real point in moaning about that. You know what you're going to face.
Well, for a moment we were going to lose interest in this match, because 5-1 up, it looked as if Mark Selby was going through to the quarter-finals, but it's all changed now.
Yeah, the only thing he's lost is his concentration, Mark Selby. he was a better player before the interval for the four, and sometimes the interval can change that. Missed 1 or 2 since he come back. Obviously the red with the rest is preying on his mind at the moment. I agree with JV in commentary, it's not quite panic stations yet, but if it's 5-4 it might be.
How well has Stephen Lee played, Steve?
Well, all of a sudden he's got a bit of inspiration, and that's the hardest thing for Mark Selby to cope with. Say the scores had been 4-3, and then Mark Selby had won to go 5-3 in front, a completely different mentality on the game.